Hello, everybody. Scooty007 here, bringing you another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. In today's game, we've got the 6-15 Minnesota Twins taking on the 12-10 Oakland A's. This is Game 3 of a 3-game series. Both teams have won a game apiece, so this is the rubber match of the series. Who's going to come out on top? Will the Twins get the win, or will Oakland get the win? We'll find out in 9 innings time. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Leading off, the center fielder, Carlos Gomez. Batting second, the second baseman, Brendan Harris. Batting third, the right fielder, Jason Kubel. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Justin Monroe in the cleanup position. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Delman Young. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Craig Monroe. Batting seventh, the catcher, Mike Redman. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Brian Bouchier. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Nick Punto. On the mound for the A's, it is Greg Smith. Comes into the game starting with an ERA of 3.93. No wins, 2 losses. He's pitched 18 1/3 of an inning, allowed 26 hits, 9 strikeouts, and 2 walks. We're here at the Oakland Coliseum, which gives a +2 to strikeouts and a +2 to walks. And with that, Carlos Gomez makes his way over to the batter's box as the home plate umpire dusts off home plate. And we're ready for the first pitch. Carlos Gomez batting at .306, and here is the first pitch. And we're underway here at Oakland. And that is a 1-3, column 1, row 3. That is a blank. 6-5, column 6, row 5. That is a line drive to Crosby. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Sweeney. And out number 1. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Oakland A's. DeFornio will be out there in left field. Davis will be in center. Brown playing right. Going around the horn, we've got Murphy on third. Cosby will be at short. Ellis will be at second. Sweeney on first. Suzuki will be behind the plate, and Smith is on the mound. Brendan Harris batting a .219. And that's going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6. Anytime you roll the @ symbol, you'll resolve the play on the ballpark card. We're going to resolve this play on the Coliseum, on the Oakland Coliseum card. And that is going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3. And that's going to be a fly ball back there to DeFornio. He'll make the catch. And 2 away, 2 up, 2 down. And Jason Kubel comes up to bat. He's batting a .239. And here is the pitch. 1-3, column 1, row 3. That is a blank. And we consider that a blank right now because Greg Smith has not faced his allotted number of batters. Jason Kubel, 4-6 is the roll. Column 4, row 6. And that is going to be a single out there into left field. And Kubel will get on with a base hit. So 2 outs, runner on first, and when we have 2 outs, we add a +1 to the base runner rating, and strategy roll is a 20. So anytime you have a 20 come up on the strategy die, it is a pick-off chance. On a 1, it's a balk. On a 2 to 18, he'll pick him off. It's a 15, he picks him off. Could not get back to the bag in time. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. We go to the bottom of the first. And here is the starting lineup for the Oakland A's. Leading off, the center fielder, Kurt Suzuki. Batting second, the second baseman, Mark Ellis. Batting third, the first baseman, Mike Sweeney. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the designated hitter, Frank Thomas. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Emil Brown. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Bobby Cosby. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Chris DeFornia. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Donnie Murphy. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Rajah Davis. On the mound for the Twins, it is Francisco Linario. Comes into the game starting with an ERA of 8.0. He's got 1 win and 1 loss. He's pitched 9 innings, allowed 13 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 7 walks. And with that, Kurt Suzuki steps up into the batter's box. He's batting a .235. And the pitch. 2-6, column 2, row 6. Home run chance on a 1-9. The 19 is too high. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. Power hit to Gomez. So on a 1, it's a single. On a 2 through 10, it is a double. It's a 10, and that is good for a double. That's a 1-hopper off the wall into the gap. And with that, Gomez goes chasing after it, throws it back to Punto, and they'll hold Suzuki at first. He'll lead off with a double. Infield normal depth. Kurt Suzuki, runner on second in scoring position. Strategy roll is a 13, and Mark Ellis now up to bat. Ellis batting a .320, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-6, column 3, row 6. Double question mark, and that is right now the only thing we do follow when that result comes up off of the pitcher's card. And that is going to be a single on a 1-10. That is an 8, and that is good for a single. So with that, Suzuki will go to third, but is he waved around to come home? He'll come home on a base run rating of a 2 through 6. That is a 3. He'll score. And Oakland strikes first. They take the lead 1-0. So strategy roll is a 3. That is going to be a steal attempt. Now, on the steal attempt, we'll take a look here for Ellis. He's a right-hander, so that's going to be a +2. That's going to be a +4. That's going to make it a 20. And that is a 15. 20 is the best result you can get as a stolen base for your stolen base rating. And with that, Ellis steals second. And with that, Mike Sweeney, here's the pitch. 4-3, column 4, row 3, strikeout on a 1-2. The 19 is too high. And that is going to be a 3-5, column 3, row 5, double star 3. So on a double star 3, we come up to the double star line. That's the auto outline. Come over to the third position, and that is going to be a ground ball to Harris. He'll make the catch. And that'll put one away. And with that, Ellis on second. Runners will ground out. So runners advance and balls hit the first, second, or the catcher. So with that, Ellis will go to third. And the out at first. So one away, runner on third, 90 feet away from home, and Frank Thomas comes up to bat. No average just yet for Frank Thomas. This is his first game in this replay with the A's. And here is the pitch. Infield, by the way, is in, and the strategy roll was a 10. So A's standing pat, 4-3, column 4, row 3. That is a split result. So anytime you roll a split result, you are going to look at to see if the batter is right or left, if they're batting right or left. In this case, Frank Thomas being a right-handed batter, so we'll look to the right-handed side of that slash. That's a strikeout on a 1-17. That is a 3. Struck him out. So 2 away, and that's going to bring up Emil Brown. Brown batting a 156. Strategy roll is a 15. Infield at normal depth. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-6. Column 6, row 6. At the ballpark, we're going to go to the Coliseum for this play, and that's going to be a 3-5. Column 3, row 5. A ground ball to Redmond. He'll make the catch. No error there. We are going to check for an error rating. That is a 0-17. No error. And that will retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors, and 1 left on. After 1, it's Oakland 1, Minnesota nothing. We'll go to the top of the second. Justin Monroe, Damon Young, and Craig Monroe due up for the Twins. Justin batting a 347. And the pitch. 3-6, column 3, row 6. Home run on a 1-12. That is a 1, and that ball is out of here. Solo home run for Justin Monroe. And he hits that down the right field side. Brown goes back to the wall, and it's into the stands. And the Twins tie the game up on a solo home run by Justin Monroe, and that is his 3rd home run of the replay. Damon Young batting a 277, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6. It's a wild pitch, so that's going to be a foul. We're going to roll for the batter now. One of the new rule changes to the game. 3-4. Normally we would re-roll off of the pitcher card, but we'll just go right to the batter's card. And that is going to be a 3-4. Column 3, row 4. It's a fly ball back there to Brown. Brown will make the catch. And that'll put 1 away. Craig Monroe batting a 306. And that's going to be a 3-1. Column 3, row 1. That is a blank. And that's going to be a 6-3, column 6, row 3. And that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Cosby will get that, throw it over to Sweeney. And out number 2. 2 away, and that's going to bring up Mike Redmond. Redmond batting a 286. 3-3, column 3, row 3. That's going to be a walk. On a 1-6, the 7 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6. That's going to be good for a base hit. And with that, Redmond will get on with a base hit. Brian Bashir batting a 200. Strategy roll is a 1, infield at normal depth with 2 outs. And here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-4, column 5, row 4. Strikeout on a 1-15. That is a 6. Struck him out. So 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. And 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the second. Bobby Cosby, Chris DeFornia, and Donnie Murphy due up for the A's. Real quick, let's take a look at the starting defense for the Minnesota Twins. Young will be out there in left field. Gomez will be in center. Krubal at right. Going around the horn, we've got Bashir on third. Punta will be at short. Harris will be at second. Monroe will be on first. Redmond behind the plate. And Francisco Linario on the mound. Bobby Cosberry batting a 206, and here is the pitch. That's going to be a 6-6, column 6, row 6 at the ballpark. We're going to go to Coliseum. 1-3, column 1, row 3. Ground ball to Punto. Punto will get that. Throw it over to Monroe for out number 1. One away, and that's going to bring up Chris DeFornia. DeFornia batting a 260. And that's going to be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is a strikeout on a 1-15. That is a 1. Struck him out. And 2 away, and that's going to bring up Donnie Murphy, batting a 240. Murphy, 6-1, column 6, row 1, strikeout plus. Now, on a strikeout plus result or a walk plus result, we add 10 to the strikeout range, plus the modifier for the ballpark. In this case, it's a +2, so we're going to add 12 to that strikeout range. That makes it a 29. That is a 10. Struck him out looking. So no runs, no hits. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on as the Twins retire the A's. As the A's retire the Twins in order. As the Twins retire the A's in order, 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, and no errors. After 2, we're tied at 1. We go to the top of the 3rd. Nick Punto, Carlos Gomez, and Brennan Harris due up for the Twins. Punto batting a 241, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-5, column 6. Row 5, double question mark, double star and a 1-14. That is a 15 outside of that range. 4-1, column 4, row 1, double star 1. That's a fly ball to DeFornia. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Top of the order, as the order flips over, Carlos Gomez, 0 for 1. And here is the pitch. 1 out, nobody on. 4-2, column 4, row 2. That is a blank. 1-2, column 1, row 2. Double star 5, and that is going to be a fly ball to DeFornia. He'll make the catch, and that'll be 2 away. 2 up, 2 down. Brennan Harris, 0 for 1. And that is going to be a 1-1, column 1, row 1. Strikeout. On a 1-15, the 20 is too high. 1-4, column 1, row 4. That is a double into left field. And with that, Harris smacks a double, keeps the inning alive. Strategy rolls a 20. It's a pickoff chance. It's a 5. They pick him off at second. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on as he got picked off, as they picked him off again at second. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's Rajah Davis, Kurt Suzuki, and Mark Ellis due up for the A's. Rajah Davis, and here's the pitch. And this is also his first game in the replay. 3-3, column 3, row 3. That's a walk plus. So same thing with the walk plus. We add 10 plus the 2 from the Coliseum. That is a 16. That is a 7, and that's going to be good for a walk. So they'll send Davis to first on balls. Strategy roll is a 12. It is a steal attempt. They are going to send him. And that is a 20. That is a 3 on the roll. They are going to send him. And with that, Davis will go to second. We go to the top of the order. Kurt Suzuki, 1 for 1 with a double and a run. And that's going to be a 1-6. Column 1, row 6. It's a range play. Now, on a range play, we check the first number first of the outfielder's arm. Whose range are we checking? And that is going to be a 6-2. Column 6, row 2. It's an S+9 to Kubel. So first of all, we do check for his range. That is a 1-2. That is a 1. He'll make the catch. But however, on that, Davis at second, does he go to third? We'll check. On balls hit to F9, we subtract 0 from the base run rating. If roll is, we roll 1d6. If the roll is less than or equal to the adjusted base run rating, base runner, he will advance to third. So after adjustments, we roll 1d6. The roll is less than or equal to his base run rating, he will advance, and in this case, he does. And with that, the Twins have a runner in scoring position. Bork Ellis, 1 for 1 with an RBI, runner 90 feet away from home. 1 out. Strategy roll was a 10, and the infield is in, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. That is a strikeout on a 1-10. That is a 1. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that's going to bring up Mike Sweeney. Sweeney is 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 1. It's another steal attempt for Rajah Davis. They are going to send him. Does he steal home? That is a 7. That is a 10. He'll score. And with that, he'll steal home. It's 2-1 on a stolen base. And that is going to be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. That is a blank. Remember, we look to the right-handed side of the slash. Sweeney, and that is going to be a 3-3, column 3, row 3. That's a ground ball to Punto. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1 run, no hits, and no errors. After 3, it's Oakland 2, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 4th. Jason Kubel, Justin Monroe, and Damon Young due up for the Twins. Kubel batting a 250, and here is the pitch. Kubel 3-1, column 3, row 1. That is a blank. 4-1, column 4, row 1. That's going to be good for a base hit to Davis out there in center field. And with that, Kubel will get on with a base hit. So Kubel will lead with a base hit, leads off with a base hit. Justin Monroe is up. He's 1 for 1 today with a home run, a run, and an RBI. And here it is, the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-5, column 3, row 5. That is a strikeout on a 1-8. That is a 6. Struck him out. Damon Young 0 for 1. 1 out, runner on first. Strategy roll is a 3, nothing doing there. And here's the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-5, column 2, row 5, strikeout on a 1-14. That is an 8. Struck him out. And that'll be 2 away, 2 up, 2 away, and that's going to bring up Craig Monroe, who's 0 for 1. Strategy roll 11, nothing to do there. The pitch. 3-4, column 3, row 4. That's going to be good for a walk. On a 1-13, that is a 10, and that is going to be good for a walk. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. Mike Redmond now up. He's 1 for 1. Strategy roll is a 3, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6. It's a wild pitch. On a 1-10, it's a wild pitch. 11-12, it's a passed ball. 18, nothing happens. And that is going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3, pop up to Cosby, who sees it, gets under it, makes the catch, and retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the Twins will leave 2 stranded. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Frank Thomas, Emil Brown, and Bobby Cosby due up for the A's. Frank Thomas, 0 for 1, struck out his last time up, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6, range play at the Coliseum. And that is going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3, fly ball back there to Kubel. Kubel sees it, runs in a little bit, eyes it up, makes the catch. Does he make the catch? His range is on a 1-2. That is a 4, and that is going to be good for a single, as we now roll a D20 to determine if it is a single or a double. 5 through 20, it's a single. It's a single, and a 1-4, if it comes up, it is a double. Can't get it, and Frank Thomas will lead off with a base hit. Emil Brown, 0 for 1, strategy roll 12, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-5, column 2, row 5, range play. Whose range are we checking? 2-5, column 2, row 5, double star 2. Once again, it goes back to Kubel. Range is a 2, that is a 4. That's going to be good for another single. And with that, we will check for runner advancement. Strategy roll on the runner advancement roll is a 6. So we check the white die, that is a 3. On a 2 through 5, the lead runner is thrown out. But if the trailing runner's BR, no adjustment, is greater than or equal to the roll, he advances on the throw. So first of all, Thomas gets thrown out. Trying to go to third. They'll get him out of third. That's the out there. And for Emil Brown, base run rating is a 2. The die roll is a 3, which it is not. But if the trailing runner's BR is greater, it is not. So he will hold at first. Bobby Cosby up. He's 0 for 1. Strategy roll 17, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-2. Column 6, row 2. Home run chance on a 1-9. The 12 is too high. And that is going to be a 2-3. Column 2, row 3. Power hit to Kubel. On a 1-8, it's a single. On a 9-18, it is a double. It is a 9. That makes it a double. So Cosby will go to second. Emil Brown goes to third. We'll roll for runner advancement. That is a 1. So on the 1, it tells us to check the second die. That is a 4. And this is what happens. The lead runner advances. So in both of these, the lead runner will advance. So we pick up, it is now 3-1 Oakland, and Cosby up. Cosby is on second. Does he pick up third? Base run rating is a 2. The die roll is 4. If the roll is higher than the trailing runner's BR, the runner holds. The die roll is a 4. Base run rating is a 2. He'll hold at second. It's an RBI double for Bobby Cosby. It's 3-1 Oakland right now in the bottom of the 4th. Cristofornia 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Strategy roll is a 3, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-5, column 2, row 5. That is a range play. Whose range are we checking? And that is going to be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. It's a fly ball back there to Gomez. His range is a 4. Kubel, real quick, he's 2 for 6 on range plays. That is a 5. That's going to be good for a double. And it's now 4-1. It's an RBI double by Cristofornia. It is now 4-1, and the A's have a 3-run lead. Donnie Murphy 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Strategy roll 18, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-1, column 6, row 1, strikeout plus on a 1-29. That is a 16. Struck him out looking. So 2 away, and that is going to bring up Rajah Davis. Davis scored with his first stolen base of the replay. First time at bat, he walked and then everything. Rajah Davis for walking and run. And here is the pitch. Strategy roll 15, by the way. A's holding off. And that is going to be a 5-5, column 5, row 5, strikeout plus on a 1-25. That is a 19. Struck him out. So 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And 1 left on. We go. After 4, it's Oakland 4, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 5th. Brian Bashir, Nick Punto, and Carlos Gomez due up for the Twins. Taking a look here at Greg Smith, he can face 7 more batters before he is considered tired. Brian Bashir 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. That is a walk. On a 1-10, the 14 is too high. And that is going to be a 6-6, column 6, row 6. That's going to be a fly ball back there to Davis. He'll make the catch. And that'll be out number 1. 1 away, and that's going to bring up Nick Punto. Punto 0 for 1, and the pitch. 4-4, column 4, row 4, strikeout on a 1-8. The 18 is too high. 1-6, column 1, row 6. That's going to be good for a single out there in the left field. And Punto will get on with a base hit. One out, Punto on. Strategy roll is a 3. It's a steal attempt. They are going to send him. It's a 19. He got caught stealing. And we go to the top of the order, Carlos Gomez, who is 0 for 2, and here is the pitch. 2-6, column 2, row 6. It's a wild pitch. It's no runners on, so we're going to roll for the batter. And that is going to be a 2-6. Column 2, row 6. That's going to be good for a single out there in the center field. And Carlos Gomez is on with a base hit. Brennan Harris, 1 for 2 today with a double. Strategy roll is a 12, infield at normal depth, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-6, column 3, row 6, home run on a 1-2. The 16 is too high. And that is going to be a 4-4, column 4, row 4, ground ball down the third baseline. Murphy will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 1 left on for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Kurt Suzuki, Mark Ellis, and Mike Sweeney due up for the A's. It is the top of the order. And with that, Francisco Linario can face 6 more batters before he is considered tired. Bullpen starting to warm up there, top of the order, Kurt Suzuki. 1 for 2 today with a double and a run scored. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 4-5, column 4, row 5. That is a strikeout on a 1-8. The 19 is too high. 4-3, column 4, row 3. Fly ball back there to Young. Young gets under it, makes the catch. And that'll be 1 away. Mark Ellis, 1 for 2 today with a strikeout and an RBI. And that is going to be a 5-5. Column 5, row 5, strikeout plus on a 1-20. That is a 12. Struck him out. And that'll put 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, Mike Sweeney, 0 for 2 today with an RBI, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6, range play at the ballpark. We're going to go to the Coliseum, and that is going to be a 6-6, column 6, row 6, and that is going to be a fly ball back there to Young. Young's ranges on a 1-3. That is a 2. He'll make the catch. And he had to hustle all the way back to the warning track to make that one. No runs, no hits, and no errors as the Twins retire the A's in order. 3 up, 3 down. After 5, it's Oakland 4, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 6th. Jason Kubel, Justin Monroe, and Delmon Young due up for the Twins. Greg Smith, 3 more. You can face 3 more batters. Kubel, 2 for 2. Bullpen for Oakland starting to warm up. And here is the pitch. 2-6, column 2, row 6. That's going to be a wild pitch. So we're going to roll for the batter. And that is going to be a 3-2, column 3, row 2. Fly ball back there to DeFornia. He'll make the catch. And that'll be 1 away. Justin Monroe is 1 for 2 today with a home run, a strikeout, a run, and an RBI. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is a walk. On a 1-8, the 3 in range, and that's going to be good for a walk. Delmon Young is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout, runner on first, strategy roll 17, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-1, column 6, row 1, double start. Now, in the physical game, if you roll a double star off the picture card, you're going to roll 1d6 that'll determine the auto out. In the PC game, it'll randomly choose it. And that is going to be a fly ball back there to Brown. Brown goes back, makes the catch, and that'll put 2 away. 2 up, 2 down. Craig Monroe, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. And with that, Greg Smith now tired. So that means if we were to roll a 1-3, a 4-4, or a 6-5, we'll make that call to the bullpen. Strategy roll is a 13, and here is the pitch. Just needs one more out. And that is a 6-2, column 6, row 2. Possible error on a throw. Now, we'll check the error rating. That is going to be the number in the bracket. It is a G5, ground ball to Murphy. His error range is a 4. That is a 7, so no error there. Murphy will make the catch. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors, and 1 left on for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Frank Thomas, Emil Brown, and Bobby Cosby due up for the 8th. Frank Thomas, 1 for 2 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. Strikeout on a 1-7. That is a 1. Struck him out. And that'll be 1 away, and that's going to bring up Emil Brown. Brown 1 for 2 with a run scored, and here is the pitch. 6-2, column 6, row 2. Home run on a 1-9. In range, 18 or less. That is a 2. That's going to be a home run. Home run, Emil Brown, as he hits that dead center. Gomez goes back, and it's out of here. Solo home run for Emil Brown, and the A's take a 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Bobby Cosby up. He's 1 for 2 with a double, a run, and an RBI. Bullpen for the Twins starting to warm up. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2. Home run chance on a 1-9. The 16 this time is too high. And that is going to be a 4-5, column 4, row 5, double star 1. Fly ball back there to Gomez. He'll make the catch. And that'll be out number 2. 2 away, and that is going to bring up Cristofornia, who is 1 for 2 with a double, a strikeout, and an RBI. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. That's going to be a walk on a 1-12, the 9 in range. And they are going to send to Fornia. That is a steal attempt. That's a 16. He is going to steal. So for the Fornia, how we figure out the steal, we look to the right-handed side of the slash there. That's going to be a +2. Plus the pitcher's arm. That's going to be a +2. That makes it a +4. We add it to the stolen base rating, which makes it a 20. Then we roll 1d20 against that stolen base range. And that is a 20 as well. It's a 16, so he'll steal second. So he's going to give him the one more. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. That is a walk on a 1-15. That is an 11. And that is going to be a walk, and that's going to do it for the Twins. And with that, Francisco Lario will come out of the game, and we just need one out. We need to get one more out. They're going to bring in Jesse Crane. Crane's going to come into the game with a 1.13 ERA, 1 win and no loss. He's pitched 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Francisco Linario. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 1 home run. An ERA of 7.96. With that, Rajah Davis, who is 0 for 1 with a walk, a strikeout, and a run, steps up. Strategy roll is a 10. Francisco Linario is still in charge of the 2 runners on base, and that's going to be a 5-6. Column 5, row 6, that's a walk. On a 1-7, the 11, too high. And that is going to be a 1-2, column 1, row 2, fly ball back there to Gomez. Gomez goes back to the wall, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the A's will leave 2 stranded. We go to the top after 6. Oakland 5, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 7th. It's going to be Mike Redmond, Brian Boucher, and Nick Punto due up for the Twins. And with that, we are going to go to the bullpen. Greg Smith, done. And they are going to bring in Keith here. Keith Foluk. No wins, no loss. He does have 1 inning pitched, allowed 1 strikeout, and no walks. No hits and no walks. So taking a look at the stats here for Greg Smith, he went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run, and ERA of a 3.33. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup for the Twins due up, and here is the pitch to Mike Redmond. 1 for 2, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-1, column 2, row 1. That is a hit by pitch. That is a 9. That is a 4. Keith will give a -2. It's in the range. He'll get hit. And with that, the umpire will award Mike Redmond first base as he got hit by the pitch. Brian Bashir 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-1 as well, column 2, row 1. Hit by pitch again. However, this time, Brian's hit by pitch rating is a 0. That is a 2. No hit by pitch there. Also, strategy rolls are turned off right now. And how do we know that they're turned off? Well, we take the difference in the score. It's a 4-run game. We take that difference, add it to the inning we're in. We're in the 7th inning, so 4 plus 7 equals 11. If the number we get is higher than 10, Strategy rolls are turned off until that number comes down below 10. 0 for 2 with the strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-3, column 3, row 3, double star 4. Ground ball to Cosby. We will check for a double play. And with that, ground double play rating is a 4. That's going to be a +1 from the ground double play. Ellis will make it a 1. That's where we get the 4. Pivot being second base. Reroll 1d6 against the ground double play rating. And it says here, if the roll is greater than the runner on first forced out at second. So with that, Redman is forced out. And Brian Bashir is on with a base hit. And that is going to bring up Nick Punto, 1 out, runner on first. Punto is 1 for 2 and for that normal depth, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is a blank. 2-6, column 2, row 6. Ground ball to Ellis. Ellis will make the catch. And that'll be a fielder's choice once again. This time it's a roll of a 6. So the play is only at first. Bashir will make it to second. And with that, the out will happen at first. Anytime a 6 comes up when you're checking for the double play rating, the play is only at first. So Bashir will quickly get to first as quickly gets to second as Cosby throws it to first. Top of the order, Carlos Gomez is 1 for 3 today. A runner now in scoring position for the Twins. And here is the pitch. 6-2, column 6, row 2. That is a walk. On a 1-8, that is a 3. That's going to be good for a walk. And with that, we have runners on first and second. And with that, Keith Faluk is now tired. So remember, if we roll any of the results that end up in the brackets, he will get pulled. So once again, Oakland now has the bullpens warming up. And that is going to be a 5-5, column 5, row 5. Home run on a 1-7. The 20 is too high. That is going to be a 4-1, column 4, row 1. That's going to be a base hit out there into center field. And with that, the bases are loaded. For rolling for runner advancement, that is a 5. Bashir will hold. So if the roll is less than or equal to the adjusted base run rating, the runner does hold. Otherwise, he will advance. Taking a look over at the Oakland bullpen, he yields up the 1 more. And with that, Jason Kubel, who is 2 for 3 today, and here's the pitch. Bases are loaded. And that is going to be a 6-3, column 6, row 3. That's a range play. Whose range are we checking? And that is going to be a 3-5, column 3, row 5. Power hit to Brown. So it's going to be a 1-4 first for the range play. That actually, it's going to be a 2, so we are going to check that. It's a double. So 2-11 is a double. Will it be a double? Brown's range is a 1-4. That is a 3. He'll make the catch. He'll make the catch, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, and they will leave him loaded as we sing, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Bottom of the 7th, Kurt Suzuki, Mark Ellis and Mike Sweeney due up for the A's. Let's take a look at the box score of the game after 6.5 had been played here at the Coliseum. Minnesota getting on the board. That lone run all the way back in the second inning. 1 run on 8 hits and no errors. Oakland scored a run in the first, a run in the third, 2 in the fourth, a run in the sixth, 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors committed. Jesse Creighton going to stay out there for 1 more inning. We go to the top of the order. Suzuki, Ellis, and Sweeney due up for the A's. Pitch to Suzuki, 2-2, column 2, row 2. That's going to be a hit by pitch. So Jesse will give a -6. That makes it an 8. We check the D20. That is a 9. It is too high. And that's going to be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. Ground ball to Harris. He'll make the catch. And that'll put 1 away. Mark Ellis, 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and an RBI. Here is the pitch. Ellis 2-3, column 2, row 3, strikeout on a 1-9. That is an 8. Struck him out. And that'll be 2 away, and that's going to bring up Mike Sweeney. Sweeney, who is 0 for 3 today. They're going to let him take the hit. Does have an RBI, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6, home run. Remember, we look to the right-handed side of that slash. That is a 10. The 11 is too high. No home run there. And that is going to be a 5-2, column 5, row 2. Ground ball to Harris. He'll make the catch. And that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on as the Twins retire the A's in order. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 7, Oakland 5, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 8th. Justin Monroe, Damon Young, and Craig Monroe due up for the Twins. And with that, Keith is tired, so Keith not going back out there. Oakland going to put out there on the mound. They're going to send out there Joey Devine will go out there on the mound now. So 1 win, no ERA. 1 win, no loss. He's pitched 3 1/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Keith Faluk. He went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, no ERA. Emil Brown with that one, he is 7 for 11 on his range plays. He's 64%. Justin Monroe, 1 for 2 today with a home run, a walk, a strikeout, a run, and an RBI. And here is the pitch. That solo home run back in the second inning put him on the board. 3-3, column 3, row 3. That is a strikeout on a 1-10. That is a 3. Struck him out. Next up, Damon Young, 0 for 3, and here is the pitch. Young, 2-2, column 2, row 2. That is going to be a blank. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2, double star 2. It's going to be a fly ball back to DeFornia. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 2 away. 2 up, 2 down. Craig Monroe is 0 for 2 with a walk. He is going to take the hit. And that is going to be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. Possible error on a throw. And that is going to be a 3-3. Column 3, row 3, double star 5. And that is going to be a ground ball to Ellis. Error range for Ellis is on a 1 to 2. That is a 20. No error there. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors as the A's retire the Twins in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Frank Thomas, Emil Brown, and Bobby Cosby due up for the A's. So we're going to go to the bullpen for the Twins. Jesse Dunn. And they are going to bring in Dennis. No. They're going to bring in Joe Nathan. Joe Nathan will come in. Comes in the game with no ERA. Does have a special K rating. We will talk about that when that comes up. No wins, no losses. Does have 1 save. He pitched 7 innings, allowed 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, and no walks. Taking a look at the stats here for Jesse Crane. He went 1 1/3 innings, allowed 1 strike, an ERA of a .97. Frank Thomas 1 for 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup for that. We do have a couple changes here at first base. Brian Butcher will come in. Howie Clark will come in at first. At right field, Jason Kubel will come out, and they are going to bring in Denard Spahn. Will take over at right field, and that is the only other second base too. We're going to have a change at second base, and with that, Matt Mercer will come in there at second base. So those are the changes that are going to be made for the Twins lineup as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Frank Thomas 1 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 4-4, column 4, row 4, strikeout plus on a 1 to 22. That is a 2, struck him out. And that is going to be 1 away. And Emil Brown, who is 2 for 3 with a home run, a run, and an RBI comes up. And here is, they're going to intentionally walk him. They're going to walk him. And that is going to be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. That is a blank. And that is going to be an intentional walk. So they were going to walk him on that. So Emil Brown will be intentionally walked to first, and that's going to bring up Bobby Cosby, who is 1 for 3 with a double, a run, and an RBI. They're going to walk Brown, and that's going to be a 3-4. Column 3, row 4, that is a blank. Special K rating on a 1 through 6. Struck him out. And that'll be 2 away, and that's going to bring up Chris DeFornia. DeFornia 1 for 2 with a double, a walk, a strikeout, and an RBI, and here is the pitch. That's going to be a 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a blank. Special K rating on a 1 through 6. Struck him out. So no runs, no hits, and no So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and one left on for the A's. We go after 8. It's Oakland 5, Minnesota 1. We go to the top of the 9th. Twins down by 4. Need 4 to tie, 5 to win. Mike Redmond, Brian Bashir, and Nick Punto due up. Let's take a look at the box score of the game after 8 have been played. And with that, Minnesota scoring the only run all the way back in the second inning. 1 run on 8 hits and no errors. Oakland scoring a run in the first, a run in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, a run in the sixth, 5 runs on 7 hits and no errors. And with that, Joey Devine is done. I want to say they're going to bring in Santiago. They're going to bring in, let's see. Yep, they're going to bring in Santiago. So Santiago Castillo will comes in the game with no ERA, 1 win, no losses, 1 save. He's pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Taking a look at the stats here for Joey Devine. He went 1 inning, allowed 1 strikeout, no ERA. Will we see some 9th inning magic? Mike Redmond, 1 for 2, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. Strikeout on a 1-6. The 9 is too high. And that's going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6. Double star 1. That's going to be a ground ball to Crosby. He'll make the catch. And that'll put 1 away. Brian Boucher will come up. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Are they going to let him take the hit? They are. Brian, and that's going to be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. Strikeout on a 1-11. That is a 5. Struck him out. And the Twins are now down to the last out. Nick Punto due up. He's 1 for 3, and here is the pitch. Punto, 3-5, column 3, row 5. Strikeout on a 1-13. That is a 4. Struck him out. And the Oakland A's defeat the Minnesota Twins 5-1. No runs, no hits, no errors. Final line score coming right up. So the Oakland A's defeat the Minnesota Twins and win the series and take the win here at the series. So Oakland 6, Minnesota 1. Minnesota 1 run on 8 hits and no errors. Oakland A's 5 runs on 7 hits and no errors. Greg Smith will pick up the win. Francisco Linario will pick up the loss. On that one, it's a second loss there. Greg Smith, that is his first win of the replay. Justin Monroe picks up his 3rd home run of the replay, and Emil Brown will also do the same thing, picks up his 3rd replay of the game. Let's take a look at the stats here. Greg Smith with the win. He went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run, an ERA of a 3.33. Santiago Castillo, the last pitcher up for the A's, he went 1 inning, allowed 2 strikeouts, an ERA of 0.0. Francisco Linario picks up the loss. It's the second loss. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, 1 home run, an ERA of a 7.96. Joe Nathan, the last pitcher up for the Twins, went 1 inning, allowed 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, no ERA. So that is going to do it for us here at the Oakland Coliseum, as the Oakland A's will improve to 13-10, and the Minnesota Twins will drop to 6-16. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a thumbs up on the way through the turnstile. And remember to click that bell notification to be notified of when new videos in the 2008 replay go up, and when I go live with all of the Philadelphia Phillies games. Until then, I'm Scooney007. We'll see you for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.